And now, another exciting episode of As the River Churns.
Okay, I think we're on.
We are
Wow.
live, yes.
Now, so Lisa, is this your fault? Did you tell them we were having ice cream today? Because we have so many people in the audience. I was wondering if it was ice cream day or something. But
We did tempt them with refreshments.
refreshments, but we didn't say
We
what it
didn't
was.
say what it was.
So they were
Yes.
expecting. How many were you expecting ice cream today? Yeah. See.
Oh.
Ah.
Whoa. Okay, Michelle, we messed up there.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah,
Oh,
Yeah,
gosh.
we've got a threat to go out on strike if we
Oh,
don't
boy.
do ice cream. Maybe,
Okay.
maybe we need to do ice cream for the next
Maybe we'll do for the
Churn
next
show
one.
because
Yes.
and
If
that'll be in
we-
the middle of August anyway, so that'll be good too. So
We'll do it in August. Okay,
all right, yeah, we'll try and make up for it. Cookies today, ice cream in August.
there we go. Okay, very
All
good.
right.
Ice cream today, and then one day they're going to start asking for gummies. Those special gummies, yeah.
Are those ones that you see like at the gas stations now that they're selling and all that thing? Is that the gummies you're talking about?
Yeah, they got all kinds.
There's
Yeah.
there's like a abbreviation for it, like CBD or something.
Yes,
gummies?
yes,
Is that-
yes, yes.
Okay. All right, I'm with you now. It'll take me a second. So.
Oh,
All right, Lisa. I think this crowd's going to be hard to control today. What do you
I
think?
think so. This is why we normally don't have anybody here. So.
All right, trivia time.
Okay, trivia
time.
question. And this is for if you're in here in the audience or people that are watching us from home. So the prize today is a bottle of wine, and we always like Ken to be able to tell us what it is.
This is a Pananonica. I don't think that's right, but it's a Pinot Noir. It's a good wine, yeah.
It's a special one,
Yep.
okay? And you're gonna call Michelle. So if you're here in the audience as well, make sure you call on the phone because that's how she's managing the answers here. Okay, and don't leave a voicemail. You have to get her in person. So, okay, call Michelle at 336-389-4103. Okay,
But not yet.
not yet, not yet.
Well, maybe they know the answer.
Wait for the
Is there
question.
anybody that's psychic out there that already knows what the answer is? Karnak, that's right.
Okay, the question is, what important event took place on July 29th, 1969? What important event took place on July 29th, 1969? The line is now open.
So, Lisa, let's be clear. That's not your birthday, correct?
It is not.
Okay, I just wanted to
It is
make
not.
sure of that.
I
so.
was born in 72.
72. Okay, I
72.
knew it was close to around
It was
there,
very
but not-
close.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
So it wasn't that. So if you
No.
guessed that, you're wrong. That's
Nope.
not going to be correct. So.
Okay.
Okay. So while we're waiting for Michelle to come back, well, is she coming back already? Do you have a winner already, Michelle?
No,
Oh,
no,
okay.
not yet, not yet. Keep
I-
calling. She
Keep
loves
calling.
that.
Keep calling. She got caught in the door. I thought we were going to have to go save her there for a second.
Oh.
So let's get started with the
Yes,
agenda.
yes.
So I think the first thing we want to talk about is how many of you all came to the employee scholarship program that was this past Saturday?
Yeah.
I hope you all would agree with us. We thought it was one of the best things that has happened
It was
here.
amazing, yes.
It was a great event.
Yep.
It was great to see 37 of our staff members receive a scholarship, and you know the excitement and the joy and I don't know. It was just such a great event
It
to
was-
see so many of our staff members come up on stage and.
And to hear their stories and where they're going to school and what they want to be and all of that. It's pretty amazing,
And it's
especially.
so varied. I mean, I don't know,
It
did you all
is.
see the variety of different things that our staff are wanting to do as a career possibility for themselves? It just was,
right.
I just thought it was really, really great.
It was.
Yeah, Harvey did a great job with the program.
Yep.
You know, our scholarship committee really
They put a
had
lot of
big
hours in.
They put a lot of hours. It was a big
Yes.
job this year because you know our scholarship committee interviewed each and every one of the scholarship recipients this year. So it was a big deal. As a matter of fact, while I'm on the scholarship committee, I forgot to mention this on Saturday, but I want to mention it today. You know, Gabe Brown just went off of the scholarship committee, and so you know, big thank you to her for the 4 years that she put on that.
Absolutely.
And we give Gabe credit for being the one that actually
Helped
had the
spearhead
original
this.
idea
Right,
to kind of
right.
get started with this.
Yep.
with the scholarship program. But, I think it's just amazing, what we've accomplished. I mentioned this on Saturday. For those of you that were here, I'm going to repeat it. Out of the 3 Bright Spire communities, we're the only one that does a big program like this with the scholarship program. And I really think that's helped with our success. So it's been really good to be able to do that.
And we gave out over $39,000, which
30,
is
yeah, come on, that
amazing.
deserves a hand, y'all.
That's
$39,000.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah, I don't think Glen Eyre or Scotia Village does even as much as $5,000. So just goes to show you, hey, if you all have phones, please leave, because honestly, it's a little distracting for me. I can't concentrate twice on 2 different things. So if you're on the phone, or if you got something that's a conversation you have to have, would you please just leave the multipurpose room when you have that, please? Thank you. Okay, anything else on the scholarship committee, Lisa?
Nope, I think that's it.
Okay.
Staff training, we had 3 days last week where you probably noticed we had different changes in schedules with our dining venues. Also, might have had some adjustment with housekeeping, trying to get all of our team members to go through some training, which we call Community Connection Day, which used to be called Day of Learning.
Yeah, Day of Learning.
So we have not had a Day of Learning or Community Connection Day since COVID. So all that kind of stopped when 2020 came and we couldn't gather. So we were finally, this is the first time bringing that back.
Yeah.
Which is an amazing thing. So thank you all for really supporting that and understanding the need why we do that. So for us, that's creating a day where we can bring everyone from different departments. They get to be able to interact with folks that are from different departments that they don't normally interact with. So it's a great day to create Team River Landing, not just each department. So it kind of gets people out of those silos that sometimes gets created in each department. We do team building activities, just general morale boosting, and then also education is part of that as well. I think the highlight for the education piece was we did fire extinguisher training. There's a lot of folks that have never had to use a fire extinguisher. We're trained on it, but it doesn't mean that you actually physically used one. So we had over 100 people actually get to put out a fire that we did right back here behind the multipurpose room. It was not in the building, so it was very safe.
Yeah, the only problem I had with that is they kept wanting to put me on fire and then try and put me out. And so I didn't think that was such a good idea.
But it was a great 3 days, so thank you all for letting us do that. We were able to get through, our goal is to get most of our full-timers through that.
Yeah.
And we did 228 employees in those 3 days.
Yeah,
so it was pretty amazing.
Yeah.
Yep, to be able to do that.
It's pretty neat. And Lisa said it well, but we do such a good job building teams within our departments, but it's very rare when somebody from Golf and Grounds gets a chance to interact with somebody from nursing, or EVS gets a chance to interact with somebody from public safety maybe. And so it's a chance to be able to build Team River Landing. And so we really do make it a very interactive day for our staff. And it just, it went so well.
It did.
One of the things that we're going to try and share with you that came out of this event, we had a really good time. We did a team building thing where we asked each team we broke them up into different groups. We asked each team to come up and pick from a pile of different types of, what would you call it, items, props, items, whatever.
Craft items.
And make up a River Landing mascot. And then either have a story behind it, or a song, or a cheer, or whatever. And so we have probably 10 or 12 of those different things. So we've got videos of those, and so we may be starting to show you some of those either on Camera, or we might even do something a little special with one of our things here. But they were really funny, and the staff had a ball, I think, coming up with
Very creative, though.
That was extremely creative.
Yep, each day we had a winner, and there was some amazing ones.
Yeah, there were some that we probably won't show you all because they were
a little too creative.
I promise you that we don't even want to talk about a couple of those, but most of them are really good and creative. And thinking about it, they had a half hour to come up with this. And so it was pretty neat. It just
Right.
was a fun time.
Right.
You know, Ken, you got a chance to be
Yes,
a part of that.
yes. I feel well trained now.
Yes, you.
Yep.
And so
You're very
Ken's
connected.
Ken's group, as you might guess, was not creative at all, right? So when Ken being a part of it, so it was a lot of fun.
It
though.
was. It
So
was.
we'll
It
share a
was
little bit of that. I think I think you all will enjoy that.
Just want to talk a little bit about medical emergencies. So last week I had a resident ask me more about the pull cords that are in each of your homes. So this person thought that automatically called an ambulance, which does it call an ambulance, your medical alert in your home? It does not. So what that does is that alerts our staff here, and then we can respond. So when you're pulling that cord, it can be for medical emergencies, or it could even be a security emergency. If you think there's something that, you know, is of concern like that, pull that cord. We don't want you to go to your phone and try to call people, because not everybody's sitting at their office or at a desk. So if you have a medical emergency or security emergency, pull that cord. That's gonna get us. You don't have to call us to do that. And then our team, which will be a security person as well as a nursing person, will come out and assess the situation. So if an ambulance is needed, we can go ahead and make that call for you, so we can get that going. Let's say you know right away you're gonna need an ambulance, then it is fine. If you wanna call 911, that is fine. But if you want us to come out and do an assessment of that, then we will certainly do that as well. But if you know for sure you need 911 and you want to call, go ahead and do it, but also pull the cord. And the reason for that is you also want someone here that's boots on the ground that can get to you. So that ambulance, we know, sometimes can take a few minutes to get here. So
Well, it's-
please also make
It's
sure pull
not just
that
that
cord.
though, Lisa. It's also, if you pull the cord as well, then we can be out there directing 911
Absolutely.
into you, get you there faster.
Absolutely.
So it's really
Yes.
important that you do both if you feel
Yeah,
like that's the.
very important to do that. So just wanted to clarify a little bit of that for you all. Okay, we have other events and announcements. We have our first Christmas in July, the summer market tomorrow here at River Landing, and that's from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. right here in this room. So you can start your Christmas shopping early, or you can get something special for yourself. I'm sure you'll be coming shopping, Ken, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So the vendors, we have residents, we have staff members, and we have outside businesses coming. And some of the items, we have jewelry, pottery, woodworking, artwork, paper crafts, decorative wreaths, honey, nail kits, and much more. So you don't want to miss it.
Ooh, come on. Ooh. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
Lisa, I think you are a part of this. Am I
I
not
am
correct?
one of the vendors tomorrow.
Yeah.
So please come out.
Now, does the nail kit include just the nails or the hammer too?
It's both, Ken. I think it's both.
Okay, good.
Yep.
Yeah.
It'd
Yeah,
be
yeah.
nails for your fingers.
Yeah.
So, yep.
Oh.
So that's very exciting. So we'll see how that goes. It's our first summer market.
So I think Lisa
Christmas
told
in
me.
July.
Lisa told me she has like 35 wreaths for tomorrow. So
I do. I
yeah.
do. I
And
love
sh-
making them.
And she doesn't want to take any of them home. So please
really
come
don't.
and buy her wreath.
No,
from
I
her,
really
right?
don't.
So, yeah, that'll be fun tomorrow.
It will. Also tomorrow, we have, it just very coincidental how this happened, we have the farmers market here as well. And we are changing their location. We're actually gonna be having them right outside in our back parking lot here, the new parking lot behind the multipurpose room, to see if they can get a little more visibility there. Where they have been back by the bistro parking lot, they've not been getting as much traction back there. So they asked if they could try another location here. So we're gonna try this, and in connection with tomorrow's summer market, that might help out some of their traffic. Because we want them to keep coming. It's a great opportunity to get fresh foods, vegetables, baked goods. So if you can check out them tomorrow, that'd be great as well. They're here from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Mock Travel still have, when I last looked, 5 spots left on their trip. That's the trip to St. Augustine, Florida, September 16th through the 20th. There is a sign-up sheet in the activity book, so check that out. Still a couple more spots left. Tuesday, next week, July 23rd, Winston-Salem Symphony will be here to unveil their 2024 and 2025 season and provide us with some beautiful music from Gregorio Mildero, Associate Principal Violin 2. So that should be good. Friday, August 16th, we have meet and greet for the new Greensboro Symphony new conductor, Christopher Dragon. So watch your Encompass for that. That's coming out. And he'll be here at 10:30 a.m. and right here in the multipurpose room. That's Friday, August 16th.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, very cool. And we are sponsors for both of those events, so it's nice that they're coming out and giving us some music and some of their time. Wednesday next week, July 24th, the summer 3-course wine dinner at the clubhouse. It's almost sold out, and today is the last day to call for your reservations. So make sure you do that if you have not done that yet. Next Friday, not this one, but next, July 26th, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m., River Landing yard sale in the vehicle garage. So that's coming up. That's a impromptu sale. We have so much stuff that we need to find other places for it. So, also next Friday, the 26th, 7 p.m., we have the murder mystery event, Sour Grapes. And Celeste, I believe we still have some spots available. So make sure to see Celeste if you want a part in that. So that is a participatory type of event, right? Everybody has a role to play. Okay, let's see. Wednesday, July 31st, deadline to submit Furl creative writing stories. So that's coming up as well. And the fountain on hole number 5.
It's not working.
It's not working.
In case you didn't notice, it's not working.
Yep. So we're waiting on a replacement part. Thankfully, it is under warranty, which is great, but that fountain has been giving us issues.
It has.
So
Sometimes I think it's a curse to be under warranty. It seems like it takes it longer to get parts for it than it does when we don't have it under warranty.
Yes, absolutely. And last reminder, the silent auction, we have that coming up in August. That's one of our fundraisers where we raise the money for our meal packaging events. We are still in great need for some new or gently used items, so we're a little short right now. So we want to keep pushing that. So if you have any items that you'd like to donate, please let us know. Bring those to the front desk, or if they're bigger items, give us a call and we can come pick them up for you. So thank you for considering that. Okay, now we are down to Ken.
down to
Yes,
Ken.
and I'm sure it's going to be great.
Yeah, I don't know if you can see.
Look on your
Hopefully the front
screens.
here
Yep.
can see
Yeah,
here.
one there,
And
one
everybody in the
there.
back, you should be able to see your screens, hopefully.
Here's the first one. Turns out the success rate of the phrase, "don't take this the wrong way," is 0%. Has anybody ever tried to use that phrase before? Don't take this the wrong way, yeah. This is a sign in one of those parks where you get to come up close to the elephants, but I didn't even know they could drive. And for our golfers, just water for me. I'm the designated driver. Yes, look, no, I judge them by the groan level. So the more you groan, the better it is. Okay, let's see. There it is. Whoops.
Oops.
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 There we go. Don't expect me to stop if you're broken down by the side of the road. You were offered an extended car warranty several times.
How many of you all get those?
All the time.
Oh my goodness, they're just relentless.
They really are.
You don't even have a car and you get them. Yeah, there you go.
No matter how stupid you feel, remember Little Red Riding Hood couldn't figure out a talking wolf in drag wasn't her grandmother.
That's a really good point, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. And those of you that go to the beach, I want to know if this is an effective way to stay cool on the beach. There's a guy with a generator and an air conditioner.
Oh, wow.
I don't know if that works, actually.
I don't either.
Somebody might try it. Okay. Here we go. When people tell me you're going to regret that in the morning, I sleep until noon because I'm a problem solver.
Oh.
That's good.
Okay, now this is an idea that could catch on at River Landing. Okay. We need adult water parks, no kids, just a lazy river with a floating bar, live music on stage, and a taco truck.
Okay.
I
there you
knew,
go.
yeah, lazy river.
Hole number 5, they said.
And yes, exactly.
Oh.
And here's a T-shirt for most of us. It says, "Please slow down, I'm from the 1900s." Now, this is going to be a nostalgic one for you. The brownies I started baking in my Easy Bake oven in 1979 are ready if you guys want one.
Oh.
Remember the Easy Bake oven with a
Yes.
light bulb? Okay, in the Chronicle of Famous Last Words, we have another entry. "Dude, relax. We're in camouflage. He can't see us." I'm not sure it's his eyesight they should be worried about. Okay, now I always try to have a nerd cartoon. Next one is my nerd cartoon. You'll see the equivalent of pi 314 on the left. Is it coincidence that if you flip it backwards, it spells pi?
Oh.
Actually, that's pretty cool.
That
I
is
like
pretty
that.
cool, isn't it? All right, page turn here. All right. Carpe diem is the phrase that you hear. "Pretty sure I seized the wrong day," is the reply. And for all you barbecue guys out there, "Finally, a parking spot for us fat guys who love barbecue."
Oh. That's pretty good.
Oh my gosh, I love that.
Okay, let's see, push it and wait. There we go. "The priest says, I have come to exorcise the demon."
Wait,
Oops,
you went too far.
hello. Yep, I went the wrong way.
There we go. Oh,
Okay. There it goes.
no.
"The priest says, I have come to exorcise the demon that has possessed you. I say, I did not call you. The demon says, it was me."
Oh.
Okay, this next one is Granny, who has 2 passions in life. Okay, I pushed it once. I'm going to try it again. There it
There
goes.
you go.
LSD and ducks. Her 2 passions in life. So apparently,
You should be doing the LSD,
yeah,
right?
yeah, apparently she's doing the LSD.
Oh.
If she thinks those are ducks, she's in trouble.
Yes.
That's what happened on July 29, 1969.
And this one says, "Intend your puns, you cowards." For all those that say pun, yeah,
No pun
unintended,
intended.
yep. And this one, regardless of political stripe, everybody will probably agree with this one. "Has anyone tried unplugging the United States and plugging it back in?" Maybe a reboot will work. I don't know.
Those were good, Ken.
Yeah,
Very
thank
good.
you, thank you, thank you.
A reboot sounds right.
Yeah.
We need that, to be honest with you.
Look at that.
He is worthwhile having right.
Yeah.
He is.
I'm well trained now too.
Oh, I don't know about that.
I know how to go to the bathroom. I can stay. I
Oh,
can roll
okay.
over. Yeah.
I get it.
Yep.
Oh.
So, did we have a winner?
We do, but the person hung up before Michelle could get their name. So let me read the question.
It's the unknown winner. I like it.
They have a bag over their head.
So what important event took place on July 29th, 1969? So does anybody know the answer in the audience? Okay. Neil Armstrong walked on the moon. So that was the answer. So, yes. So if somebody called in and you were told you were the winner, please call us back.
Can Michelle find their number and call them back?
Oh, so Michelle will work on it here. We do
Yes.
have a winner though. So
If not, we're all going to split this bottle of wine.
we all get
Yeah.
a thimble,
I was gonna say, we might
thimble.
all get a drop out of it. That's about it.
a little
So,
communion cup.
Nelda Toss.
Nelda Toss.
Okay.
Okay, very good.
Sure it
Congratulations,
was.
Nelda.
Sure.
Sure it was.
Oh.
Okay.
Okay, I think we're to the part that everybody came here for.
Well, no, they came here for Ken.
Yeah, right.
Okay, okay.
They came here for the real
So
stuff.
we're gonna clear off the stage here,
Yep.
and the screen will come down, so just give us a minute.
Here we go.
Thank you, Ken.
Yes.
Thank you, thank you.
Is that back?
Do we need to move the desk, Michelle?
Think, well,
Okay.
okay, thank you. That's good. Okay, so this is our semi-annual resident update meeting. So I'd like to be able to share a bunch of information with you today about what's going on with the community, and Michelle's going to get my PowerPoint kind of getting rocking here. I know, it's okay. All right, I always like to start a little bit with our occupancy. So as of today, we have 639 residents living here at River Landing. We have, out of our total units here, we have 458 out of 470 that are occupied. We have 187 second persons living here at River Landing. How many knew that we had a 60-40% level between the males and the females? So we have more men here than most retirement communities. It's interesting to me that in every other place I've been, usually the ratio of females to males is much higher, even as much as 7, 8, 9 to 1 ratio. But we have a lot more men here at River Landing, which I think makes us very unique. So, okay, so let's talk about our actual occupancy. In independent living right now, we have 344 out of 354. We're 97% occupied. We have 37 out of 40 in assisted living as of today. Nursing, Pebble Beach is full, 44 out of 44. Memory care, we are full. Remember, because memory care, we're still in renovation. So we have 4 rooms that are not occupied as we go through the renovation. So we are technically completely full in memory care at this point with 12 out of 16. And in Wingfoot today, we are 13 out of 16, so 81%. All right, I don't have the clicker. Do you have the clicker?
Can you go back to that now? Is that 13?
It's a little funky.
It's a little fun. Yeah, I noticed that. You were having some problems with it, so.
I want to ask a question.
Yes, question.
Is it 13 including the ones that stay there all the time, or the 16?
Yeah, no, it's 16 total rooms there. 13 includes the ones that are there, that are permanent residents there.
Do we have a percentage that we allot to that part?
The question is, do we have a percentage that we allot to the number of beds in Wingfoot? So typically, we keep 1/2 of the rooms for the short-term folks, for residents going in and out of the hospital, and the other half has been traditionally for the last, 7 or 8 years, longer maybe, has been more of the permanent residents over there. So one side of it has become more permanent residents. The other side is for residents going in and out of the hospital. And you know, when we built Wingfoot back in 2009, the idea behind Wingfoot was that we built it in such a way that we could actually split that household into 2 households, 8 beds on one side, 8 rooms on the other side, so that we could always we always knew we'd have 8 rooms for short-term admissions, but the other side was really a filler thing wherever the need was. So if, when we built it, we were like, well, if we had more memory care folks than what we had beds for in the memory unit, we could use that other half for that. If we had more, like we have now, if we have more long-term care people, we can use it for that. So it was built to be very versatile, and we've used it that way. So it's been very functional, I think, in my opinion, the way we've been using it. Okay, Ken's working pretty good for me right now. All right, so marketing sales. So of the 10 unoccupied units, I think you all know, we have residents that are on our ready list that are getting ready to move in. So those 10 units are unoccupied, but we've got more folks that are moving into those 10 units. So So all those units are already spoken for. We're just working with them to change their units around to make it ready for them to be able to move into River Landing. You know, much like when you all moved in, it's the same process. We've had 10 move-ins since the beginning of the year, but we're gonna pick up with that, especially since we got 10 unoccupied units at this point. We're gonna pick up a lot in the last half of this year as far as move-ins go. This is the number that really gets me a little bit, is that we have 813 households. This is 813 households on our resident of the future list. So that's not individuals, that's households. So, you know, when you start adding in how many couples that are part of that 813, we're up like 12, 13, 1,400 residents, future residents that are on our list. 801 are on the wait list, 12 are on the ready list at this point for existing units. So 801, think about that. We have 354 households here in our community. So that's, if my math is right, that's, if we got rid of all of our residents right now and refilled it, we could bring them all in and get rid of all them and we could still fill it back up again. So now we're not gonna do that obviously, but I think it just goes to show you how many people, you all were smart getting in when you did, and we've got a lot of people that are really wanting to get into the community. So it's amazing to me. And I should have put it on here, but I think last year at this time when I did this, we were like 657 that were on our list. So you can see how much it's grown just in a year. It's amazing how much it's grown. Okay, enough on the marketing and sales side. Let me get into a little bit about what's going on with our budget for this year. So this fiscal year, remember our fiscal year runs from October 1st through September 30th. So it covers it goes over 2 different calendar years. So for this fiscal year, we're having a very good year, y'all. Occupancy has been up this year for us. You'll see that even for BrightSpire in general, our financials look good. But our independent living and skilled nursing revenues are much better than what we had budgeted. Our occupancy in those areas have been really strong. Not surprising, assisted living is down a little bit, and that's because we've been limited as far as the number of residents in the St. Andrews area. But all together, this is actually through 8 months of our fiscal year. This is through May. I haven't gotten June financials yet, but we are $811,000 better than what we had budgeted to be at this time from a revenue standpoint. That's a lot. That's really good. That's because our budget's been, you know, 97. We've been at 97, 98% occupied throughout the whole year, and we were budgeted to be at 96% on the independent living side. So we've been doing very well from that perspective. To go along with that, on the expense side of things, our departments have been at or under budget for most of the year. So our operating expense is a little over $500,000 better than budgeted and what we expected to be. Now I will tell you, a lot of this money that we're under is in the employee group health insurance. You all may or may not remember when I was talking to you back in July of last year and October of this past year that there was a big concern about the employee group health insurance, because we were like $1 million over last year in our expenditures on employee group health insurance. Remember, we're self-insured as an organization for our staff, and so it's really just dependent upon the claims that come in and how well is our staff, how well is their family members that are covered under our plan, and you know, how much hit do we take from them being in the hospital or going through cancer treatments or whatever. And last year we took a huge hit. And so we bumped our budget up last year to try and counteract for that this year, and it hasn't been as bad this year, so, which is good, right? So we've been doing a little bit better this year as far as our operating expense. So a lot of that $523,000 better is coming from the employee group health insurance, but it can change, quite honestly, it can change pretty quickly, just depending on the health of our staff and their families. Okay, so when you add all that together, between the $800,000 better on the revenue side and the $500,000 better on the expense side, we're a little over $1 million better than what we had budgeted to be from a net operating income standpoint. I'm very happy about that. I think that's really good. It's always healthy to be on the upside on the net operating income instead of on the downside. And last year I had to tell you that we were on the downside. This year I can tell you we're on the upside. So it's a lot easier to stand up here in front of you and tell you that. River Landing itself has a little over $80 million in cash and investments. The market has been pretty good to us this year and over the last year. Hopefully it's been just as good for you all. I know it's been a little bit up and down, but I think in the end it's been still much better than what it has been in the past. So we have 971 days cash on hand. Now that's one of our bond covenants here, but let me explain what that means, because I think people don't know exactly what that means, 971 days cash on hand. So what that means is we know what it cost us, well, I don't, but our corporate office knows this. How much does it cost us to operate River Landing on a daily basis? And with knowing that much, how much money that takes, we can divide that into the $80.7 million and say, okay, if we never got another dime, any other revenue, for how long could we last with the money that we currently have? And so we could actually last 971 days without getting any more revenue. Now don't get any ideas, because that's not gonna happen, okay? You know, whenever I do this with Tim Webster, he goes, I really hate that example that you use. And I said, but I think it's the best way to explain it, because I think it makes sense to people that way. But really, we're doing very well as a community. Remember, this is just River Landing at this point that we have $80.7 million. That's fantastic. And you know, when you think about how much money we have, and I'll show you this in a second, or maybe it's on here. Yeah, when you think about it, we have outstanding debt of $77 million still at this point. So, you know, the good news is we have enough cash to pay off our debt. Do we want to pay off our debt? No. Well, why is that? Because our debt, our money is costing us about 2.65% on an annual basis. We don't want to pay off 2.65%, you know, any faster than we have to. That's good money for us, because we can invest that and do better than 2.65%. So it just makes sense to do it that way. But you can see our debt's coming down. We were at $85 million last year at this time. We're at $77 million. And you know what? I'm really happy to tell you, when Glen Eyre has to stand up here and do this, they can't tell you that anymore. They are a lot more than we are right now with their expansion. So, and you'll see that in a minute. I'll point that out. So in our cash and investments for the foundation, we have $10.8 million. And our debt service coverage ratio, which again is another bond covenant that we have, we're at a 1.93 actual versus a budget of 1.69. So again, everything's going in the right direction for us right now. And so the debt service coverage ratio is the income available versus the maximum annual debt. And entrance fees do play a big part of this. So the entrance fees that we got from the 10 homes that moved in, that money really makes a big difference, because that goes on the numerator side of that equation. And so it does make a big difference and helps us with our actual covenant value there, ratio there. Just FYI, the covenant itself for the debt service coverage ratio is, by the end of the fiscal year, we, meaning Brightspire, not just River Landing, need to be at a 1.2. So if we're not at a 1.2, then we could be having some questions asked of us from our bond holders in regards to what we're doing to try and improve our ratio. But as you can see, River Landing is at a 1.93. Scotia Village is like a 4 something. And I think even Glen Eyre, even with their new bond financing, is still at right around that 1.2, 1.3 range. So we're doing very well as an organization. We're not, bond covenants has not been an issue for us. We've been able to make those pretty easily year after year after year. So it's not something to be worried about, but it's just, I wanted to make sure I pointed that out. Okay, let's keep going. Okay, let's talk about Brightspire. So, did I skip one? No, I didn't. Brightspire. So Brightspire is, at the moment, remember, we're getting ready to be Kintora, but right now we're focusing on Brightspire, because Kintora is not completely 100% official yet. So again, Brightspire is Glen Eyre, Scotia Village, River Landing, and our corporate operation together, okay? And remember, as a side note to that, this also includes the management of Friends Homes. We don't own Friends Homes, we just manage Friends Homes. So from a Brightspire perspective, we have $123 million in cash and investments. Anybody remember what River Landing's portion of that is? 80 million. So as I was telling you, River Landing really is very cash rich right now, which I'm loving it. Now, if corporate would let me spend all that money, I would. I would spend it all on you, and no, we don't want to do that, right? We want to be careful about where we spend our money, but I think it's really great to know that we have the lion's share of the cash and investments from the operation. And then there's $55 million worth of cash and investments from the foundation. Does anybody remember how much River Landings was? 10 million. So now I will also point out, as part of that $55 million, about half of that money was from the Presbyterian Home of High Points Foundation, the mothership, the one that was originally got things started. So I keep telling our corporate team, that's River Landing's money. Those residents moved here, that's River Landing's money. And they keep saying, well, and I went, no well about it, it's our money. So anyway, I have a lot of going back and forth with it. And there is a lot of consensus to say that, those residents moved over here and that money really could be used for River Landing purposes. Right now, if they use it at all, it's either for River Landing purposes or it's something that would be, like they're using some of that money for staff education from a corporate level perspective. Okay, Brightspire. Revenues so far through the first 8 months, we're at $2.3 million higher than expected. Let's see, now I'm trying to remember. What was River Landing's portion of that? Anybody remember? How much were we over? About $800 million, right? No, not 800 million. That ain't right. 800,000. So revenues for River Landing were $800,000 better than expected, and as a whole corporate group, we're at 2.3 better. And again, it's the IL and the skilled occupancy levels that are bringing that in. It's not just us that's having a good year. Glen Air's having a good year. Scotia's having a good year. And then the Glen Air expansion. Remember, they opened up in, I think it was September of last year. They opened up, and they were expecting it to take 7, 8 months, maybe even longer, for them to get all those residents. Think about 192 apartments that they were trying to bring new residents into. They filled up a lot faster than what they were supposed to or what they thought they would. So that's helped bring up that revenue number. So expenses are $410,000 better than what we had budgeted them to be. So net operating income is about $2.7 million better than what we had budgeted to be through May. Our debt service coverage ratio, we have budgeted to be at a 1.98. This is what I was telling you about. Our debt service coverage ratio is really good organization-wide, and we're at a 2.49 right now. Our days cash on hand is 496. And our charity care is it's a medical care commission requirement that we reach 5%, and right now we're at 5.2%. And then when you add in the foundations, our days cash on hand actually climbs up to 717 days. So from a bond covenant standpoint, we kill it. I didn't mention this, but for days cash on hand, the bond covenant for all of Brightspire is 100 days. So 120 days. So we're at 496. We're way above that, and when you add in the foundations, we're way above that, even better. So again, we're doing very well from a bond covenant standpoint. Okay, I'm going to switch gears and get out of the financial side of things. Let's talk about the annual appeal. Our goal this year is $175,000. So far, we've got about $73,000 towards our goal, and it's gone up a little bit since we're up over 75. So Michelle's got more current information than what I got apparently last night. So we're at 75, a little over 75,000 towards our goal. And I think most of you know Wiz and Liz Horner. As a matter of fact, I thought I saw Wiz in here somewhere. Is Wiz still in here? Where is he? There he is in the back. So Wiz and Liz Horner. So if you have a donation, go right now to see Wiz right now, and he'd be glad to take it from you. Right, Wiz? So he's got it. He's even got a pencil and pad and all. He's ready to take names and numbers. So, but we appreciate that. You know what the annual appeal is? It's also going for to help out for residents that can't pay for the full cost of their care. And so annual appeal is always very important to us as we go through each year. So if you can help with that, that would be great. We would love that. Our Employee Appreciation Fund, I know Mary Irvin's here somewhere, at least I saw her. She's in the back too. Mary's heading that up. for the council, the resident council this year. And so we are accepting contributions all year long. There's a drop box at the bank if you want to put your contributions in there. We kind of make the main drive. The main drive starts in kind of October through November, but you know, if you want to start early, I'm sure Mary's not going to be upset about that at all, right, Mary? So, okay. And then, you know, just thank you. I think last year, Lisa helped me with this. Last year, 239,000, thank you. 239,000 was raised by residents last year. We had a lot of very happy staff members last year. That was a Christmas to remember, let's just put it that way. So thank you very much on behalf of them. Okay, let's see what else we can talk about. St. Andrew's renovation. So construction's still going on. We are making some good progress over there. We've actually got phase 1, phase 2A, and 3 are now complete. So that's really good. Phase 2B, or not to be, I know that was bad, sorry. That was a Ken joke, sorry. 2B is a couple more weeks out. So 2A was really about the resident rooms. You know, we're doing 4 rooms at a time and then kind of keep moving. That's really what the main phases are in each one. So, you know, 16 total rooms, 4 in phase 1, 4 in phase 2, 4 in phase 3, 4 in phase 4. And then as far as 2A and 2B, 2B had a lot of the common space, you know, where we're building the sunroom that's going to be enclosed, and we're working on the nurse's station and the spa room that's there. So a lot of that's in 2B, and that's been going on for quite a while. The other parts of the phase have been going on, and like I said, the room part is done. We're almost done with the sunroom. I was talking to Lisa about this today. When we started this project, I think we had the construction company come in and just, for those that were interested, we did a little presentation to say, and they kind of went through what we were going to do over in St. Andrews. When we complete this, which is going to be hopefully at the end of September, and I think we're going to make that, I'll probably, since we really can't have an open house over in memory care for you all to come and see, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to have the construction company come back and show you pictures and talk a little bit about what they did. Would you all be interested in something like that if I did that? Okay, so we'll try and do that so you kind of get a feel for what that was like. I will tell you that the residents and the staff over there are very happy with the results of so far of what we had. But as you might guess, we've been going at this now since, what has it been, October maybe, November? So the hammering and the nailing and the concrete work and all, it gets a little old after a while, as you might guess. Even though we get the residents out of there a lot, it's still, it's a long process to get this done. So, but we're still expect to be done by the end of September. And I can tell you the residents, family members have been very pleased with the results of this. So I think that this is pretty cool. I'll probably mention this. So now that we've got the resident rooms done on phase 1, 2, and 3, that's a total of 12 rooms. So the 12 residents that we have in there are now in their permanent rooms from now on. So that's a really good thing. So the 4 rooms that we're working on now are the rooms that we'll fill up after we finish the completion. So, so that's really good. Sandy Ridge Road expansion. How many will remember this? It's still being planned, y'all. So you may have noticed as you're driving along River Landing, there are some stakes that are out with the white flags. Those white flags indicate the clearing area, not the right-of-way area. Let me explain right now. So as part of the road, the North Carolina DOT, they buy our property that goes up to what they call the right-of-way, which is really just part of the road. And then from the right-of-way to the clearing area, they clear that. They knock that all out of there, but we get that back at the end of construction. So if you looked at the white stakes, you'll see they've now kind of gone around the front fountain now, coming into the entrance, which is good. We've been asking for that, and now that we've got that taken care of. But they go pretty far up onto that berm. We're going to lose most of that berm during the construction. And so when they're done, when the construction's done, we're going to have to put some sort of barrier back up there, whether it's rebuilding the berm or putting up some sort of decorative fencing or something. We haven't really quite decided yet. We're still in negotiation with the Department of Transportation as far as how much money they need to be giving us for the loss of the use of our property and for having to rebuild these things after they're done and said and done. So we've got legal help helping us with that as well. But it looks like I called our friend at the city of High Point, who Greg Venable, was one of the ones that came out and presented last time when we had this information. And I asked him, I said, how are we doing? Are they still looking like they're going to be selecting the construction company this summer? And he said, yes. And I said, do you really anticipate it starting by the end of the year? He goes, well, I think. So, so we'll see. But when it's all said and done, we're going to have a light at John Knox Drive, right where the guardhouse is. And I really think that's going to be really important for us for the future. I worry about our residents and staff coming out of our community, especially turning left, even turning right for that matter, but especially turning left. If any of you have done it during certain times of day, it's not the easiest thing to navigate, so please be careful out there. But I think that light will make it a lot safer for our residents. So as far as I'm concerned, that's one of the best things that's going to happen from the road widening, is that we'll get that light out there. And then, do you know where our entrance is, where the guardhouse is? If you go towards 40, there's a road that kind of comes right up, kind of catacorny, right past where our entrance is, and that's Kendale. You all know where Kendale is? So they're going to straighten out Kendale and butt it up to the light there on the other side of our entrance. So that'll be a four-way road there, if that makes any sense, or a four-way intersection, I guess. And I think that's smart. Kendale, if you're coming down Kendale trying to come back to River Landing, that is the worst turn to try and navigate. And people flying pretty good on Sandy Ridge Road. So I think it'll make it a lot easier for us if we're trying to get to that part of the town to do that. I also think that with there being 8 traffic lights on Sandy Ridge Road when this is all said and done, a lot of people use Sandy Ridge Road as like a thoroughfare to get down to High Point, right? Because it's quicker. There's usually no lights on it. Well, now we got 2 lights on it. Think about having 8 on there. I think a lot of people will maybe move back over to 68 Eastchester and go that way, but I could be wrong. We'll see. Time will tell. They're still purchasing some right-of-ways. One of them is ours that they're still working on. I'm hearing that we still could start construction by the end of this year. I don't know how true that is. We'll just have to see. And remember, it's going from I-40, Sandy Ridge Road, and then Sandy Ridge turns into Johnson, and then at the light at Ski Club. That's the section that we're talking about, that they're going to be making 4 lanes, 2 on each side with a median. And then up at the farmer's market, if you've ever been up there on a weekend, you know how much fun that is to get through. They're actually going to have 2 left-hand turn lanes coming off of 40 going into the farmer's market when they put a light there as they finish that part. So, and some of you may have seen this. Duke Power is actually already out there doing some of the preliminary work to start getting ready for the utilities that need to be done for the new roadway. So, and then I talked to Greg. He's like, well, I'm willing to come out and talk to your residents now. And I said, I don't think there's a real need. And until you pick a construction company and have more information about when you're really going to start and what your phasing is going to be, I think it'd be a waste of time. Why don't we wait until you have the construction company, picked up, and that we know what the schedule is going to start looking like. I think that's when our residents would really be interested in knowing more. So I'll keep you up to date on that. Okay, merger update. There's really not much to share here. As far as I'm concerned, the merger is done, but it's not 100% official yet. You may, if you've come and heard me talk before, where you came when Steve and Tim were here talking about it, or if you've been reading any of the letters that they've been putting out, there's still one item that's outstanding right now. We need the IRS to actually approve the merger by saying that it's going to be a nonprofit 501c3. Nobody's anticipating it being any different because that's what both organizations are right now as nonprofit 501c3s. But it is something, a requirement that we have, and they don't want to make the merger official until we actually have that letter. So that letter was asked for back, I think it was toward the end of March, beginning of April. We've been told it could take as much as 6 or 7 months for us to get the letter. Don't ask me why it takes so long, but it is what it is. So I don't think we're going to get the official merger until after we get that letter, which probably going to be in that September or October timeframe is what I think we're hoping. We're hoping to get it earlier, but regardless, the two organizations are already starting the combination process. Where we're seeing most of that happening at is at the corporate level, not so much here or in the communities themselves. The big news that I wanted to share with you today that you can see if you read down already is our management services office is going to be moving out off of our property. And it's a double-edged sword. You know, I tease them a lot about building a moat and a wall and those kinds of things around the building up there, you know, just to keep them out of our business here, you know. But the reality is, you know, they've been living here and been with us for quite a while now, and so it's a double-edged sword. You know, in some ways I'm happy for them. In some ways I'm sad for us because it's been really good, I think, to have them right on the corner of our property. But so here's what happened. With the merger, they were trying to decide whether or not to add on to the management services office up there, or they decided also just to look to see what else was out there that might accommodate the needs of the larger corporate office. And so it became very clear that it was actually cheaper to buy, believe it or not, because there's so much commercial space out there. It was cheaper to buy than it was to build and add on. And so they have made that decision that they're going to be moving off property. I don't think it's going to happen anytime soon because they really want to wait until after they get the letter. But I do think that maybe by the end of the calendar year, we could see them starting to move out of that building. I mean, that's my estimation. That's not their estimation. And then we've already been working on it. We do have a potential buyer for that building once they move off property. And I don't want to mention who it is yet. I'll just say it's a friend at the moment, because it is a friend that would potentially be buying that building, but that's not official yet, so I don't want to mention that yet. But, you know, are there questions about the merger, about that, Kath?
Where are they moving?
So there's a couple buildings apparently up near the airport area that they found that would work really well for the spacing for them. So I don't know the exact location. I haven't been there yet. They don't want to take me there yet. I don't know why, but they don't want to take me there yet. So, yes.
River Landing is actually doing very well. We can see that.
Yeah.
My question is, how much, if any, of the revenues, investments, or funds could be put at risk, not only with the rest of the other two facilities that we have, but after the merger, could we put at risk to satisfying debt or whatever in the other?
So they've made it pretty clear, if you've been reading the letters, that, you know, the current debt that's out there is really the debt of the individual organizations that have it. So whatever Wellspring's debt is their debt. Whatever debt that Brightspire's is Brightspire's debt. You know, going forward, could Contora be, you know, let me give you an example. Could Contora be working on the idea of expanding River Landing, and would we put the assets of not just the Brightspire communities as collateral for that, but also the Wellspring Group communities as collateral for that? Yeah, because that's what we do with the Brightspire communities now. You know, when we built River Landing, it wasn't just falling all on River Landing. We did it as an obligated group, and so the obligated group is going to end up growing. And so the good news to me about that is, you know, we actually will have more buying power. You know, our cost for interest will actually go down because we have a bigger debt load that we could spread that over. Does that make sense? I mean, it's not like we're going to be paying for Wellspring's debt or they're going to be paying for our debt. We're still going to be, each individual community is going to be paying for their individual debt. But from a buying power standpoint, it'll be part of the obligated group. I hope that kind of answers your question. Okay, Joe.
What's the new corporate name and how is it registered with the state?
So the new corporate name is Kintura. I think you all have seen that. Kintura. And I have no idea how it's registered with the state. That I don't know. I don't know what that is. So, yes, Carol.
Going back to the road construction.
Yeah.
Do they, when, Kendall, is that gonna be in the beginning so that we'll have a light? Or is it gonna be way to the end, do you know?
That is a great question. The question was, will we have, will Kendall be part of the initial phasing? Will that be done? Will it be done out in front of River Landing? Will River Landing be kind of in the first phase, second phase, third phase? We don't know. I mean, they told us one thing at the meeting. If you all came to the resident meeting, you heard them say, we could be between phase 1 and phase 2, whatever that means. And then they came back and said, but you know what? It's really going to be up to the construction company that comes in as to how they handle the phasing. So, what they decide up front isn't necessarily what the construction company's going to do. And so there may not even be any bureau phasing. They may be doing everything kind of almost simultaneously at the same time. I don't know. That's why I said we're kind of holding off until the construction company is selected and they have an idea of start planning how that's going to look, and then we'll have a better idea. But I hope, Carol, that the light and the straightening out of Kendall will be early on in the process. Let's hope that's the case. John?
The little house that's immediately to the left of the little house that's immediately to the left of John Knox, the stakes appear that they're going to take the front of that house off.
Yes, it does.
That means the whole house is going to disappear.
Yes, it does, John. And I sure hope it happens. I'm going to just tell you that. So if you're looking at where the guardhouse is, front entrance, and you're looking at our property, there's 2 houses that are right there on the right-hand side. And John's talking about the corner house that's right there. The one that's the second one in, that's actually our house. We own that. But that one right on the corner, we don't own. We've tried to buy that from the owner several times, but yeah, I was really upset when I saw that the clearing line was going to go through that house. That really, the clearing line. So it means they're going to take the house down. They're going to have to go into the. Yes, the house with the lights on the ceiling, on the doorway. So I don't know what those red and green lights mean, but my suggestion is stay away from the house, okay? That's all I can tell you, stay away from the house. So, yes, question?
Who will get the money from the sale of the office building? Will River Landing?
Well, no, it won't be because the money that's going to be gotten from that will go into the purchase for the new property that they're buying. So, good question, though.
How much is the new property cost?
The question is how much the new property costs. I don't know the details, Joe. I don't know how much they're going to have. All I know is that when they did a comparison as to how much it was going to cost to build versus buying something that was already out there, they were amazed to find that actually it was cheaper to buy than it was to actually build. And I guess if you think about it, the cost for building has just gone astronomical. It's like buying a house. If you go out and try and buy a new house now, the new houses are really expensive. You might be better off trying to buy something that's already out there than you are buying a new house just because of the cost involved. So, good questions.
Another subject, kind of. What is this digging down that way?
Zigging down that way.
I mean, they're digging down that way, and then more and more and more and more. Is it going to be a building or another farm or towards town?
Oh.
Towards town.
Oh, yeah. Okay, I know what you're talking about. So if you go further down, Sandy Ridge Road where it turns into Johnson, on the right-hand side, just before you get to Ski Club, is that what you're talking about? There's a big area that's being developed there. Yeah, I think that's all residential housing going in there. Townhomes, I think I saw a sign for townhomes in there. So, and then, we've got, for all of you that haven't seen it, I'm sure you have, if you've gone out 40, going out Sandy Ridge Road towards 40, on the left-hand side where they put that new traffic light in, There's a huge building back there now. That's Ecolab that actually has that building. I think it's 1 million square feet of space, believe it or not. And it's a big industrial park. I think it's like 500 acres roughly that's back there. So it probably won't be just Ecolab back there at some point. So again, more of the reason why Sandy Ridge Road does need to be expanded. Sandy Ridge Road needs to be improved. They're going to fix, there's a lot of the little roads that come into Sandy Ridge that are all turned really different ways. And so they're going to straighten all those out as they go along. I think it'll be a much better road when it's all said and done. And there will be a cart path or a path that will take you all the way up to the farmer's market. Now, you could take a golf cart up there, I think, but I don't recommend it, but you probably could. Because more than likely, you're going to be calling Scooter and saying, I've run out of battery for some reason, and I can't get back. And Scooter's going to probably take most of your produce away from you in order to charge you to be able to come back, to bring you back to the property. But there will be some walking paths along this new road that's going in. And I think it's going to be really good. I know none of us want to go through the mess and the hassle of having a new road put out there, but honestly, I think we need it, if nothing else, for the safety of our residents and staff here. I think that's important. David's got a question for us.
Any plans for Links Drive to create separate left and right turn lanes going out?
Plans to make left and right turn lanes for Links Drive going out? At the moment, no, not any plans for that. We could look at that, but not at the moment. I don't know if there's enough room out there to create a left and right. And honestly, I think it gets dangerous when you start doing that. Because if you've got a car that's trying to turn left up there now, the one thing they don't want to have is somebody sitting right next to them as they're trying to look to the right to be able to see the cars coming. I think it could actually create a problem if we had that. But we can look at that and just see. I understand what you're saying.
In the meeting, in the meeting, they hadn't even known that those apartments were there, because if you're at the end of Links, you got a direct head-on crash with who's ever coming out of the apartments. And our light that's going on John Knox isn't going to help us much there if you've got one person going to go this way, one going that way.
Yeah, well, once the road's built, don't turn left at Links Drive. I'm sorry, that's just, I know that means you've got to, I know you, and you want to take the shortest route out. But you know what? You need to be safe, and you need to go out where the
There's only going to be 3 or 4 cars in front of that gate, and the light's going to be red, and there'll be another truck, and your gates will be up in the air, and nobody will get out of that.
well, we'll see what happens with that, but we'll see. You know what? I hear you, but we'll see what happens with that. So, but yeah, I mean, honestly and truthfully, yeah, if you're going right, it's great. I do think that once we have the light, I would encourage you to use the light. I think that just makes the most sense because I think it'll be safer. But you know what? That's up to you. And I'm trying to remember, and I don't remember, the median there, I know I think they're going to be allowed to have a left turn in there at Links Drive. What I don't remember if there's a way to be able to go out and go left, and I think there is. I think that's what I remember, but we'll as we get a little closer to that, we can ask the folks from the state about how that intersection is going to look when we get closer to it. Right now, it's probably not good to speculate.
What about current staff numbers?
Current staff numbers. So we are roughly about 450 staff members here at River Landing. Now, remember, that's a lot of part-time and what we call PRN people, and that just means as needed. So, especially on the nursing side, we have a lot of full-time people, but there's always shifts that are kind of in between shifts where we need people to either work part-time, or if there's shifts that are opening up because a full-time person's going to go out on vacation or they're out sick, the PRN people help to fill those shifts up so that we can have the proper number of staff members here. So, but it's 450 total bodies of staff members. Question?
Yeah, when we're talking about staff members, I was talking to somebody down in the bistro and mentioning that I had just finished going to the podiatrist that comes on campus.
Okay.
And they could have access to something like that. So I'm wondering, is there anything we can do for our people, our staff in the bistro that are on their feet all the time? Is there some way, they could get to see a podiatrist or get them some?
So the question is, we have a lot of staff members, and especially in the bistro, where they're on their feet a lot during the day. And so is there any way to kind of help them with, trying to help them with their feet? Maybe the best way to do is encourage them to wear good shoes while they're working. Because I don't know about the rest of you, but if you're not wearing really good shoes and you're doing a lot of walking, or especially a lot of standing, it really, it's a problem. We, at one time, and Lisa might be able to help me with this, Joe, you might be able to help me with this. At one time, we were putting some mats behind, like where the cashier spot was, and some of the areas behind where the bistro folks stand that are kind of I don't know, Joe, I don't know what I'm talking about, stress relieving mats? Okay, so we're not doing that because of the trip hazard. So we lost too many staff members tripping over the mat than we did saving them for the, so bad idea, sorry, that wasn't a good one. But I hear what you're saying, and shoes is the thing that comes to mind to me. They do get breaks, and I would encourage our staff members to, especially the folks that are in the bistro, most of them get a large break right after lunch until dinner, and so hopefully they're sitting down, kind of resting in between. Otherwise, I really don't know what else to do to help them from that perspective.
And the shoes have come a long way.
Yeah.
Technology on the shoes.
And we do have a podiatrist that comes in to see residents. If a staff member wanted to see the podiatrist, I'm sure that we could set that up as well, if that would help them.
Can we set up a fund or something if we wanted to fund them so that they could go to the podiatrist?
A fund to help them if they want to go to a podiatrist. I'll tell you where I think the best way to use your funds for that is, we have an employee assistance fund. I think some of you are aware of that. And when staff members are feeling the pinch of financial burdens, whether they're have car issues that they can't pay for and they don't have a way to be able to come into work, or if they're being kicked out of their apartment because they're breaking up with a loved one, a family member or whatever, and don't have a place to live, those kinds of things I think are really important for us to be able to kind of maybe help them out with. And so I can't tell you how many staff members we've helped so far because of your generosity towards the Employee Assistance Fund. If a staff member really wants to come to us because they have a need for, care for podiatry, we can talk to them about that. But I'm just going to say it, and I'm not trying to be mean in any way. There's a lot bigger problems out there that we need to be solving versus their feet at this point, because I think there's plenty of things in place to be able to take care of that if they're wearing the right shoes and if they're taking their breaks. Yes?
I had a question asked me the other day, because remember my mother was here when I first came.
Yes, she was.
And she had a dentist that
Yeah.
came in a mobile unit.
Yeah.
And somebody asked me about that the other day. Do we not have that?
So the question is, do we have a mobile dentistry unit? And the answer is yes. Yeah, the dentist comes out and serves the needs of mostly it's healthcare residents, especially the ones that can't get out to go see a dentist. Bringing a dentist in on the property just works so much better for them. And so we're able to take care of their teeth through this mobile dentist. So yes, Joyce, we still do have it. That's correct. They set up over in the healthcare center. Yep. All right, let me see. I don't know if I had any other information on here or not. I got kind of caught up in it. Oh, I think this is my last slide or next to last slide. Our meal packaging event got coming up on the 27th and 28th of September. How many of you have helped with the meal packaging event? Super, thank you so much. It takes a small village to do that, especially when you're doing 100,000 meals. So thanks for all the help with that. We got that coming up. Lisa already mentioned about the online and silent auction coming up. So we have a live auction and a barbecue lunch on that Thursday, August 22nd. How much is the barbecue lunch, Lisa? Because I keep telling residents it's $5, and it's not, right? It's $8, right? So I got corrected. As a matter of fact, I got scolded afterwards saying, how could you say it's $5? We changed it. As a matter of fact, it was your idea to change it to begin with. So, and if you have auction items, we would love to have them from you. Thank you. And then we'll have another reverse raffle with Billy Bob's, one of Ken's cousins, I'm sure, will be here. And someone, we don't know what it is yet, right? We haven't decided which cousin he's going to pick. And then It's been over an hour. I'm going to let you all go. If you have more questions, come on up. Thank you so much for coming today. Ice cream next month. Ice cream, ice cream.